narrated in a calm, deep voice, with soft ambient background music. Scene opens on the luxury store's grand opening, cameras flashing. My name is Marcus Reed. I'm 41 years old. I served in the U.S. Marines for over a decade. I've lived through storms most people couldn't imagine, war zones, betrayal, broken brothers. But nothing hit me harder than what happened in my own city, in the arms of someone I trusted. And yet, here I was, standing under crystal chandeliers, wearing a hand-tailored suit, as the press took photos of me cutting the ribbon outside a building I never thought I'd own. A flagship store. Her favorite brand. I didn't buy it to flex. I bought it to reclaim what I'd lost. Not the money. Not the status. My dignity. You know, it's funny how life changes. A few years ago, I was driving a used Honda Civic, juggling night shifts, and trying to build a business from my kitchen table. She used to laugh at me when I said I had dreams. She called them adorable. Said I was a project, that I had potential but no presence. She thought I couldn't afford her, I said to myself, looking at the store logo now gleaming above me. So I bought the thing she worshipped. But let me rewind. Because this story, it's not about wealth. It's about worth. And how some people measure yours by what's in your wallet, instead of what's in your soul. Cut to soft flashback visuals, gym setting, early morning runs, cheap coffee dates. I met her 2.5 years ago. Her name was Natalie. And she was, without question, one of the most beautiful women I'd ever seen. Tall. Sculpted. Designer everything. We met at a local gym, nothing fancy. I was rehabbing a knee injury. She was running on the treadmill like she was being chased by a ghost. Confident. Composed. Untouchable. I made her laugh once, completely by accident. I dropped my phone mid-set, and it somehow launched my protein bar across the room. She laughed so hard she almost fell off the treadmill. That moment? That small, shared human moment? That was when it started. I wasn't her type. And I knew it. She liked hedge fund managers, crypto guys, slick hair and louder credit cards. Me? I wore scuffed boots and a watch that cost less than her lipstick. But she said I was refreshing. Said I was real. And I believed her. Pause. Deep breath. I believed every word she said. Even when she started changing. Even when she started comparing me to other men. Even when I felt myself shrinking, just to keep her comfortable. Ending with a silent beat. Emotional hook sets in. She said I'd never be able to afford a girl like her. She was right. Because a woman who puts a price tag on love was never worth buying in the first place. But back then, I didn't know that. Back then, I still thought I could win her over. I had no idea. She was already laughing at me behind my back. Narration continues, tone soft and reflective, mellow instrumental score in background. When things started with Natalie, I was still rebuilding my life. I had just left the Marines after 14 years. My body was worn, but my mind was sharper than ever. I moved to Houston, started a small logistics company with some veteran friends, and poured every waking hour into it. I wasn't rich, not even close. But I was honest, and I worked like hell. Natalie? She lived in a different world. She worked in PR, constantly flying to New York, LA, Miami. She had over 70K Instagram followers. Her life was all rooftop brunches, handbags I couldn't pronounce, and pictures taken like every day was a magazine shoot. But for some reason, she kept coming back to me. We'd meet for late-night tacos, she'd fall asleep on my chest, And I'd think, maybe this is real. Maybe I don't need to compete with billionaires. Maybe all she wants is someone who's grounded. She used to call me her warrior. She said I made her feel safe, and I held on to that, like a fool holding on to an anchor in a rising tide. Montage visuals, long drives, thrift store laughs, her in his hoodie, casual bonding. I remember this one night. I had just gotten a small warehouse space approved for my business. She surprised me with a cupcake that said, CEO Energy on top. We danced in my living room. No music, just laughter. I thought, she gets me. We didn't have much, but it felt like we had enough. That's the thing about early love. It blinds you. Makes you believe every red flag is just a shade of pink. Like how she never posted a single photo of me. Like how she always turned off her notifications when we were together. Like how she never let me pick her up from her place. She always met me somewhere in between. I made excuses. She's just private. She's had bad relationships. Maybe she doesn't want to move too fast. But deep down I knew. She wasn't hiding me to protect us. She was hiding me because I didn't fit her image. Tone slowly shifts, hint of tension now in voice. Then came the little comments. You should upgrade that car, babe. It's kinda embarrassing at valet. Or, my friend's boyfriend got her a trip to Ibiza. And you, well, you worked too hard, I guess. I laughed them off at first. Teased her back. But they started to sting. And each jab carved a deeper dent in my confidence. Still, I pushed forward. I started skipping meals to save up for her birthday gift. A designer bracelet from that brand she loved. She lit up when she opened the box. Posted a story that said, "He gets me 2 hearts," but never tagged me. That bracelet cost me 2 weeks of profit. She wore it once. Visual, him watching her from across a table, and her smiling, but at her phone. I remember sitting across from her one night, just watching her scroll. She was smiling at something, someone. I asked what it was. She locked her phone and said, "Just memes." But I saw the name before she tapped away. It wasn't a meme page. It was David, her ex, the hedge fund guy. Narration slows. Voice lower, more introspective now. That night, I didn't argue. Didn't accuse. I just watched her, really watched her. How she'd changed. How distant she'd become. And how I was shrinking just to keep her interested. It's wild. You can be lying next to someone and feel like you're miles away. And yet, you still hold on, because letting go feels like failure. That was me. A soldier who survived war zones, now wounded by whispers and expensive perfume. Scene fades to black. Just his voice now. She used to say I was her hero. And then, one day, she just stopped saying anything at all. But I stayed silent. Because some part of me still believed I could win her back. Until the night I saw her tagged, in a place I couldn't afford. Narration continues, voice now steady but laced with underlying tension. Light suspenseful music begins in the background. It started small. The kind of things you tell yourself don't mean anything, until they add up. Her phone used to be unlocked. Lying face up on the table while we watched Netflix. Now, always face down. Always on silent. Always in her hand. She used to leave little notes in my kitchen. You got this. Proud of you. Love you, soldier. I found one recently, in the trash torn in half. She started working late. Events, dinners, networking, she'd say. I'd offer to drive her. She'd decline. Every time. And when she'd come back, She smelled like cologne I didn't own. Visuals. Marcus in his small home office, staring at his laptop, phone buzzing with no name saved. I remember one night, I made dinner. Set the table. Candles, wine, the whole thing. It was our anniversary, not of dating, but the day we met. She texted at 7:42 p.m. Sorry, babe. Emergency client call. Rain check? She never asked about the meal. Never even replied after that. The next morning, I saw her Instagram story. Rooftop party. Champagne. Dress I'd never seen before. She captioned it, Building empires. I didn't comment. Didn't like. Just sat there, staring at that picture like it was proof that I'd become invisible. Narration lowers in tone. More introspective. It's a strange kind of pain, realizing someone's pulling away, and you're the only one pretending not to notice. But I wasn't stupid. I didn't yell. Didn't accuse. Didn't beg. I started watching. Visual. Marcus watching her phone screen light up at 2:07 a.m. while she sleeps beside him. One night, we were in bed. She was asleep. Or pretending to be. Her phone lit up. 2:07 a.m. David again. A message preview. You looked unreal tonight. She didn't move. Didn't open her eyes. But her thumb slowly tapped the side button and killed the screen. She knew I saw it. But we both pretended nothing happened. Next day's scene. Marcus out on a morning run, no music, just wind, deep in thought. I went for a run that morning. Didn't even put music on. I just needed to breathe. I kept asking myself, why am I still here? Because I loved her? Or because I couldn't stand the thought of her proving me not good enough? I didn't have an answer. But I knew something had changed. She stopped calling me her soldier. Started calling me Marcus. Just Marcus. No warmth. No fire. Just flat, cold distance. Scene. Marcus at a coffee shop, alone, scrolling his feed. He sees a tag, Natalie at a yacht party. Comment section full of fire emojis. Marcus isn't mentioned. Then it happened. I was sitting in a coffee shop, waiting for a supplier meeting. Bored scrolling. And there it was, a photo of Natalie. On a yacht. Holding a gold-rimmed glass. Laughter frozen in a perfect frame. She wasn't alone. David was in the background. The location was tagged, Cabo San Lucas. She told me she was on a work trip in Atlanta. Narration sharpens. A pause. Then quiet resolve. I didn't text her. Didn't call. Didn't rage. But something in me broke that day. Not the part that loved her. The part that tolerated being lied to. Scene ends with Marcus standing in front of a mirror. A long silence. Then. That night I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I looked myself in the mirror, and I made a decision. I wasn't going to chase her. I wasn't going to confront her. I was going to beat her, in a language she understood: power, status, control. It was a Thursday evening when the last thread snapped. I had just gotten home from a brutal client meeting. One of our delivery contracts had fallen through. I was tired, bone tired, but still, like a fool, I stopped by her place. Unannounced. I had her favorite Thai takeout in my hand and a small envelope. Inside it was a card, handwritten, inviting her to a small weekend getaway I had planned. Nothing fancy. Just a cabin, a fire pit, and silence. Something real. I never made it past the front door. Her building had a private elevator, and as I stepped inside, I saw her coming down, not alone. She was laughing, lightly touching the chest of a man in a crisp navy suit. He was taller than me. Younger, maybe. Or just richer. He held a Louis Vuitton weekend bag in one hand, and Natalie had her hand locked into his other arm like it was routine. She saw me, and for a split second, her face froze. Not in guilt. Not in panic. In annoyance. Like I had ruined something. I didn't say a word. I just stood there, holding the food, the card, my own breath. She brushed past me without speaking. Not even a whisper of explanation. And the man? He gave me that smirk. That smug, effortless smirk that rich boys give to working men. The kind that says, "You lost." The elevator doors closed behind them. And I just stood there, in the hallway of a life that no longer belonged to me. I didn't knock. I didn't drop off the food. I walked down the stairs in silence. When I got to my car, I opened the envelope, took out the card, and ripped it into 4 perfect pieces. Then I opened my phone, tapped on her name in my contacts, and pressed block. That night, I sat in my office with all the lights off. Just me, my desk lamp, and the whiteboard on my wall. I erased everything on it. Every to-do list, every client goal, every monthly target. And in big, clear, permanent letters, I wrote, "Buy what she worships." That was the moment. Not when she ghosted me. Not when she laughed behind my back. But when she looked at me like I was invisible. I wasn't broken anymore. I was focused. Because I finally understood what I had been to her all along. A stepping stone. A placeholder. A man she could mold and motivate until someone more established came along. She didn't want a partner. She wanted a trophy. And I was done being second place in my own life. That night, I didn't drink. I didn't scroll. I opened my laptop, logged into the investment portal, and began quietly researching the company behind her favorite brand. Usrat Kabad main GCSE bot nahi ki. Na Dostan se, na Business Circle se, na Natalie se main BS apna routine badal dia. Lekin denaya ko patabi nahi chala. Suba jaldi utta, Jim Carta, or for choti si black notebook le car at coffee shop main bath chata. Har raz. Wahan surf du kam Carta, observe, or plan. Sabs Pelli, Manus brand ko deeply study Karna Shurakia Jisko Natalie worship Cardi T, the high-end fashion label she couldn't shut up about. Us brand key perfumes, bags, heels, wo surf accessories nahi the, wo uski identity ka hissa the. Her entire personality was built around that brand. Or mui surf uski respect chahiti? Nah. Mui uska god karidna the. Company privately owned tea, but I found out they had recently sold 30% stake to a global luxury group, or Wahan se main entry point dunna shurakia. Mere pos billions nahi the, lekin main past teen sol main apna logistics company coffee aggressively grow kia the. Warehousing or military-grade transport systems provide Cardi the. And thanks to a government contract we landed during the last fiscal quarter, we were finally in acquisition range. Muyib surf right people chahithe. I called in some quiet favors. An old Marine buddy now working in commercial law, a finance consultant who owed me from a previous business bailout, and a ghost-level negotiator from Boston who specialized in silent takeovers. Hum sab kuch NDAs ka end our plan kia. No press. No rumors. No moves that could be traced back to me. Hard document main ek holding firm ka nam use Carta, a Delaware-based LLC Jiska direct link mir tak nahi jata. Step by step, piece by piece, Manus brand and our Apna footprint banana shurikia. Peli inventory contracts. For warehousing rights. For silent equity stake. Or Natalie? Wo Miami Kujishi influencer retreat main T. Posting pictures with champagne bottles and captions like, Queens don't chase. We attract. Main comments section main Lekin profile SE block the. Irony? Mera hai paisa use ho raha the drink ka brand key supply chain main. Muyi usi koi personal revenge nahi chahida. Na main use embarrass karna chata, the na usi explanation. Muyi surf proof chahida, proof ka main wo banda hunjiskoas underestimate kia the. Ek point par, mere lawyer any pucha. You sure about this, Marcus? This is overkill for a breakup. Main BS ek highline bully. She told me I'd never be able to afford someone like her. I'm not buying her. I'm buying her standard. Us whack tack. Main apna appearance be completely changed car dia the. Weight loss, personal stylist, networking events, investor summits. Jab main brand ka Paris office main final paperwork sign kia. Tomui conference room main koi patron be nahi saka. Including the senior marketing executive, Joe Natalie ka ex fling Nikla. Ironic. Final takeover close hone main panch mahin lage. Or jab sab kuch complete hua. Main wapas USI city main Gaia Jahan Natalie of be Appy designer dreams live car rahiti. Wahan ek exclusive flagship store relaunch hone Ja Raha the USI brand ka. USI location P Jahan Natalie hard dusser weekend shopping cardi T. And this time, it wasn't her walking in. It was me, cutting the ribbon. She thought I disappeared. She thought I lost. But the next time she walked into that store, she walked into my kingdom. The launch day was perfect. Crystal clear skies. Press outside. Velvet ropes. And a spotlight shining on a storefront Natalie had once called holy ground. Everything was sleek, from the black marble floors to the gold-trimmed signage. My name wasn't on the window, but it didn't need to be. Everyone inside knew who ran the show. I didn't invite her. I didn't have to. Because just like clockwork, she showed up, wrapped in designer silk, hair curled to perfection, holding her phone like it was a badge of status. She was vlogging, as always. Camera tilted just right to catch her angles, lips slightly parted in fake surprise. Oh my God, you guys! Look what just reopened, she said, turning toward the camera. This is like my second home. If they don't have my shoes in stock, I swear. And then she stepped in. Security didn't stop her. She still carried herself like a VIP. She floated past the crowd, heels tapping against imported Italian stone, eyes scanning the shelves like she owned the place. That's when she saw me, standing near the main display, surrounded by the regional directors, staff whispering into earpieces, a camera crew filming for a mini-documentary on luxury brand reinvention. At first, she didn't react. She blinked, like her brain couldn't process what her eyes were seeing. Then came the hesitation. Her steps slowed. The camera in her hand lowered. And the smile? Gone. She tried to recover. Flashed a smile. Marcus? Wow, what a surprise! I nodded once. Calm. No emotion. Just said, enjoy your visit. Please avoid recording. We don't allow unapproved influencer content inside. Her face flushed. Not red with embarrassment. Red with realization. That she had just been addressed, not by an ex, but by a boss. She stammered something. Oh, I didn't know, are you? One of the staff politely interrupted. Ma'am, if you're not on the guest list, We'll need to escort you outside. Brand policy. No exceptions today. Natalie's lips parted again, to protest, to negotiate, to beg, but nothing came out. Because it hit her. Fully. I didn't just move on. I didn't just succeed. I owned the one thing she worshipped more than love, image. She turned to leave. Slowly. Eyes darting toward mine, as if hoping I'd call her back. Say something. Offer forgiveness. Closure. A second chance. But I didn't. I let her walk out, the same way she had walked out on me. Without a word. The cameras kept rolling. The staff returned to smiling. And me? I went back to the product walkthrough, like she'd never existed. Later that night, my assistant forwarded a DM she had sent to the brand's official account. Hey, I think I had a misunderstanding at the launch event. Just wanted to clarify, I've been a long-time supporter of the brand. Let me know if we can collaborate. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Some lessons in life don't require noise. Just presence. She thought she'd outgrown me. She thought I'd fade into silence. But silence wasn't surrender. It was my strategy. It's been over a year since that day. The cameras are gone. The headlines faded. The brand still thrives, expanded into 3 more cities, and a quiet online boom thanks to a new minimalist campaign built on the exact values Natalie once mocked me for: subtlety, durability, and authenticity. But me? I live differently now. No marble floors. No champagne toasts. Just a modest home outside the city. A lake nearby. A dog named Diesel who wakes me up at 6 a.m. whether I like it or not. Mornings are slower now. Coffee's stronger. My phone rings less. And peace is finally louder than ambition. I never went back to check her profile. I don't need to know who she's dating, what she's wearing, or where she's pretending to be happy. I heard she tried launching a skincare line. Didn't go anywhere. She DM'd me once, from a burner account. Just a single line. You were never the problem. I didn't reply, because healing isn't about getting the last word. It's about realizing you never needed to speak in the first place. Narration softens. Fade to visuals of Marcus walking through a veteran support center, shaking hands, offering quiet encouragement. These days, I spend my free time helping veterans transition back into civilian life. Men who were once warriors, now trying to become fathers, workers, humans again. They remind me of who I was, and who I never want to become again. Sometimes they ask how I did it, how I went from betrayed and broke to building something powerful. I tell them the truth. I didn't do it for revenge. I did it to remember who I was before someone convinced me I wasn't enough. Final reflection, deep, emotional, grounded. Natalie took a lot from me. Time. Trust. Confidence. But what she couldn't take was my soul. And from that raw, lonely place, I rebuilt something that money can't buy. Self-respect. Purpose. Peace. Not for her. Not even for justice. But for me. Droplet final emotional line, close. She thought I couldn't afford her. But it turns out, she was far too cheap for a man who finally knew his worth. If you've ever been made to feel small, remember, the quietest men often make the loudest comebacks. Subscribe for more true stories like this one.